and we're out here in Akron, Ohio. I finally got the chance to sit down with them and have a one-on-one dialogue about a company that they're partnered with. Can you please introduce yourself for the people listening to this podcast, please?
All right. So, hi guys. I'm Hope, and as Kevin mentioned, we've known each other for quite a while now. I've been really kind of looking into different ways to live a better, healthier life. And, I really came across living healthier last year, even more so than I have before. And I have two little ones, which has also really led me to really looking into things that are going in my body, things that I'm breathing, people I'm surrounding myself with, all of those things you can think of. And Lisa, who you're going to meet here in a minute, she's known me forever. And she has been on this natural path for quite a while as well. And she's very, very knowledgeable. So a little history to reason we're sharing this Lifewave patch. I started wearing this patch a year ago because I was diagnosed with melanoma last January. I had no idea. And, at 30, I was 33 at the time. It was a huge shock because I had a little 1-year-old, and that's like the worst thing you want to hear. And so that really, like I said, led me to looking at what is going in my body, looking at what I'm doing with my day-to-day life. And I just went straight to Lisa because I know she is very knowledgeable in all this, and I can trust her research and everything that, the products that she uses. So that's kind of where, this patch came into life, and a little bit about me. But also too, before I forget, I'm married to an amazing husband, Roland, and he pushes through this different territory, that we're not familiar with. And he is amazing because he just trusts me as well. So we are fortunate to have a, united team in this journey that we're learning the different dynamics of life. And here's Lisa.
Well, thank you, Hope. And
Thank
yes, excited to be here and to, share more about this amazing technology with everyone. But, like Hope, 30 years ago, I was a mom of 2 young ones. And I think that was just kind of what motivated me to take a little deeper dive into just the natural world, and, just wanted to keep toxins out of our home. I just wanted to keep my kids away from things that could harm their little bodies as they were growing and developing.
Mm-hmm.
But if we went back, before that, I've always been interested in the health and wellness side of things. And even like coming out of school and going into college, my course of choice at that point was a pre-med path. And I just didn't realize the difference between, maybe the health and wellness side of things, the prevention side of things versus the sickness side of things. And, when I got married and started my own family, it led me more to dig deeper and dive deeper into how to help my kids more naturally, and not have to use over-the-counter drugs or medications unless it was absolutely necessary, but to help their little bodies heal. And they were dealing with some health, they were dealing with some health issues. My daughter had chronic eczema, and my son, as a young baby, developed this very, very deep, it was an eye-turning, head-turning cough. And I just wanted to get to the root cause and help their bodies heal versus just treat the symptoms. And that just opened my world to, just the health and wellness side of things, the natural side of helping the body heal. And that led me to a nutrition business. So as my kids were growing, I started my own home-based business to help people with their nutrition. And instead of going into medicine, I went into, the wellness side of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And so walking through that over the last 25, almost 30 years now, just seeing the impact that, going to the root cause of a problem, or, treating people by filling their nutritional gaps and just helping them live better quality lives. That's just kind of where my passion has always been. And, was introduced to the patch a little over 2 years ago. And it was just by observing. I was just through social media, seeing friends that I was acquaintance with, talking about how this patch was impacting their lives. And at that point, I had just started to hear more about like stem cell therapies and different things that were helping people through very severe chronic health issues by introducing stem cells to their body. So that intrigued me, and I just wanted to learn more about the stem cells themselves and how they function. I know in the medical world, when you hear stem cells, we're talking about stem cell injections, which means those stem cells are coming from another source. Mm-hmm. When you come over to what we're doing here on the wellness side and more of the preventive side, we're talking about your own personal stem cells. So these were things that I was just learning for the first time. And, you know, one of the most profound things that got my attention was that for the most part, we're talking about the human race, our human bodies. By the age of 30, over 50% of our stem cells have gone dormant. And then between 30 and 60, 65, the rest of them, the other 50% goes dormant. And then when I saw the New England Journal of Medicine recently came out that the number one indicator for degenerative diseases and aging is the presence or absence of adult stem cells in the blood. So putting those two things together was like, oh, wow, okay, so there's something pretty magical that happens if we can find a natural way that our body functions and support that to increase and improve the stem cell activity in our bodies at any age. Mm-hmm. So that, yeah, I mean, it was just very exciting for me to start learning new things after being, you know, in this industry for 30 years. And when I started listening to the founder and the inventor of this technology, it was mouth dropping. I mean, literally every time I learned something new or heard something different, it was just wow, wow, wow. And it got to the point where my husband and I had already made the decision to get started on the patches ourselves. But the more that I learned, I was like, this is something that we can't keep to ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like I've been in the network marketing direct sales industry for almost 30 years now. I know how this works and, you know, the power of sharing things one-on-one and personally with people. It's a great way for a product to move into the marketplace. But when I looked at the product itself and just the impact that it was having on people, I mean, we just call them miracle moments because, you know, somebody could be using the patch for 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, and we're just seeing miracles happen every day. And, you know, there's so many layers to it, but the things that I saw was like, this is the most simplest thing I've ever been exposed to in that 30 years. You know, it wasn't complicated. It's a patch. I mean, we can get as simple as calling it a sticker. Everybody knows how to peel the backing off of a sticker. Yes. So it was the most simplest thing that you could do is put this little patch on your body. So it's about the size of a quarter. And it's, you know, it's round and it's got these micro crystals in it and amino acids and some salts, but they're encased in this polymer shell that goes on your body, but nothing is transferred into the body. So this, again, it's a new technology and it takes some time to kind of wrap your mind around how it works. But when I was listening to the founder and, you know, the inventor, it's just everything, the more I learned, the better it got. Okay. Mm-hmm. For example, I mean, his background was the Department of Defense, and he specifically worked on projects for the Navy SEALs. So we know, I mean, you know, we don't have to know a whole lot of the specifics about that to know the Navy SEALs are pretty important, and they do pretty amazing things in protecting, you know, our globally. But their physical performance is key in what they do. And so this technology was birthed out of his time working on these projects for the Navy SEALs, because the main components was he had to come up with a way to improve their physical performance without anything going into the body. So no injections, no supplements, nothing that could go into the body that alter, you know, the body working outside of its natural way. So this technology is based on phototherapy. It's a light technology, and it uses your own body light, the infrared light that comes off and is emitted from your body, gets reflected back in. It sends certain frequencies of light into the body, which activates certain, you know, components and metabolic functions that increases the stem cell activity. So it just got more amazing the more I learned. And knowing that the technology came out of, you know, his contracts with the Department of Defense, and then when that shifted, he started Lifewave. And Lifewave is a 20-year-old company, so this was another marker. It's strong. It has a good, solid foundation. The technology's been around for a while. It's only continued to improve. So the phototherapy technology, birthed out of that time with the Navy SEALs, but it has evolved to now this stem cell therapy, because the stem cell patch, David Schmidt spent 10 years in the lab, over $4 million of his own money went invested into this. And the stem cell patch itself was launched about 3 or 4 years ago. So it's fairly new into the market, but it's doing amazing things. Lifewave as a company has been given awards these last 2 years as being the fastest growing company globally currently.
Okay.
And it's only continuing to expand and grow. And for me, when I look at that, that's a reflection of the power of the patch, because it's impacting people in such a profound way and it's spreading. And the beauty of it, just like you sitting there, and sharing your experience of how you know Hope, and then Hope, same thing with me. Like Hope and I have known Hope since she was a little girl, and watching her grow up into this amazing woman and raising her own family. But this is how the patch spreads. It's through people that you know and trust. And I personally feel like David Schmidt is a brilliant man in choosing this business model to move his product into the marketplace, because it's moving very, very quickly because of its effectiveness as a product and how it's helping people. So you take all of that and then you start to pile on and layer on the impact that it's having on people and people we know. I mean, we could talk all day long about the testimonies that people are seeing and hearing, and that's what got my attention as well. It's like scientifically it works every single time you put this on the human body. David Schmidt personally he reached his 200th patent. So this specific patch, it is a patented technology. So when you read that patent and you see the description of the product, that is exactly what it does. It's been proven to do it time and time again. The only difference from person to person is the time. There's things that happen on a deep level in our body that we don't always see and feel, but the healing starts to happen the moment that patch goes on your skin. Over 4,000 genes begin to reset. And these are things that have been proven time and time again and documented. So as far as just the effectiveness of the patch, you can virtually say it works for everybody every time. The only factor that varies is the time that it takes to do it, depending on what it's trying to heal in the body. So we get pretty excited about that. I mean, again, this is where my passion has been for 30 years, is helping people with their health and their wellness. And utilizing this light therapy patch has been the most simplest, most profound, easiest thing we've ever done as far as the ability to impact another person by putting this patch on their body.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think we could share some testimonies. I don't know. You got any other questions at this point, or things that we should?
Yes, I have some questions. How many patches are there?
Okay, good question. I mean, there's over a dozen different kinds of patches. And if we go through the 20-year history of the company, the first patch that was made and formulated is called the Energy Enhancer patch. That's the patch specifically that was formulated for the Navy SEALs. So when David left his contracts with the Department of Defense, he started Lifewave as a company, and then continued to formulate patches. And every couple of years, a patch would come out. So a couple other patches that we have, there's the Eon patch, which is an anti-inflammatory patch. It helps reduce inflammation in the body. People have kind of nicknamed that patch the happy patch, because another thing that it does is it helps to calm the body. So a lot of people that struggle with anxiety, even depression, this is a patch that's helped them tremendously with their mental health, just by bringing balance to the brain and helping the body function the way that it's supposed to. We have another patch that's the pain patch. It's called Lifewave patch, and that one is more of an acute right now pain patch. It's going to help the pain in the body that the person is dealing with at the moment. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily a patch that's going to go to the root cause. Like all the other patches are treating the body systematically. But the pain patch, yeah, exactly.
So there's a whole bunch of patches, and we could talk about all of them, but we really do try to direct people to the stem cell patch, the X39 patch, first and foremost, mainly just because that stem cell patch is going to work on the whole entire body. And David Schmidt, the inventor, he always like recommends really trying that patch first, since it's all inclusive.
Right.
And if later down the road they're still noticing certain issues, then like isolating and adding those. What are they, like the booster patches?
Yeah, I usually call them support patches, and Hope is making a great point because David, for the 20-year span of the company, the discovery or honing in on the stem cell patch itself, which, like I said, was released about three years ago. That's like the pinnacle patch. That's the foundational patch. I usually refer to it as the umbrella patch because it like covers everything. When you look at all what the individual patches do individually, the stem cell patch covers all of the bases. And we bring those other patches in when someone needs a specific, why I call them support patches, if there's chronic inflammation in the body or if there's acute pain. And a lot of times that pain patch will come alongside to help with the right now pain, while the stem cell patch is working on the root cause of that pain and helping the body heal. So there is a time when those support patches come in use. But we always start with that stem cell patch because it covers the bases. It covers everything. And there honestly isn't anything from the inside out to head to toe that the stem cell patch won't help someone with. And again, that's something, when I look at this, the whole big picture of this, again, we've never had a product like this. You had things going on with someone physically. There was this for this and this for that. And, there was always individual things where the stem cell patch it covers the bases.
Well, the neat thing too, like the stem cell patch, I mean, you might have some different things going on in your body, but like when that stem cell patch starts working, typically we see like it goes to where the body needs it the most.
Right.
So, you might have some issues that you're thinking of or, but what you don't know is there's other underlying things going on that it's going to work to. And even just like elaborating on, how long to wear it or when people might start seeing results. Like some people, they'll start seeing results right away. Like they might have had a tear or, shoulder pain or discomfort, and they might notice it going away right away. But then there's other people where, David Schmidt always recommends at least a month per every decade of your life. Even with that though, too, like Lisa I feel like she'll attest to, like if you have a deeper, more chronic issue that you've had for 20 plus years, you might see it taking longer because of course there's a lot more going on in your body than just something that happened, 2 weeks ago. And I'll talk to you about some of the testimonies. So for me, myself personally, as I mentioned, I had melanoma last year. As of February last year, I was cancer free, but of course I'm on close monitoring for like the next 4 years. But we also welcomed a little baby boy 6 months ago. He came early and he was so healthy. He was 6 pounds, 8 ounces. But obviously, he's not sleeping all night. I'm not one of those lucky moms that I can say I have a baby that sleeps all night. However, I never feel tired during the day from this patch. I never have a crash in the middle of the day. I don't need my 1 cup of coffee, but I drink it because that's the only thing I drink besides water. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I used to wake up just so groggy in the morning, and coffee was just, it helped, but I would be talking to Lisa and I'd still be groggy. And I think I told her a few weeks ago, like, I cannot tell you the last time I woke up not feeling totally exhausted after I just slept the whole entire night. Also too, like I used to get really tired driving. Again, this goes back to energy, but like I'm never getting tired from that. I know a lot of like postpartum moms can agree with me that, gosh, even moms in general, like you have that mom brain. You always hear, oh, there's that mom brain. Like, how did you forget this? How did you forget that? And I think my husband can agree that I really have not had that ridiculous mom brain. So, I mean, those are just some of the things. Also, too, I used to be really bloated, like all the time. I would eat something, whether it be bread or carbs, and I would just blow up. And I just always felt so swollen. And I couldn't, like I said, I've been wearing the patch for a year now. And I couldn't tell you the last time I was bloated. I mean, granted, part of that time I was pregnant. Right. But, ever since then, I've just felt great. And, you know, another testimony, my one friend, Tony, she had really, you know, uncomfortable discomfort in her knee. She had swelling in her knee. She was, you know, upon an x-ray, she found out she had a meniscus tear. So she started wearing the patch and she put it directly on her knee, which, you know, you can put it wherever you want, you know, specifically if you want to target a certain area of your body. But I think within like 2 weeks, she's no longer feeling pain. You know, or she's been on it for almost 2 or 3 months now, but she's no longer feeling pain. Also, it's funny because she mentioned, like, you don't know what's going to change, so you don't know what to monitor. And she personally, like, she can actually sit on her, like, fold her knees, sit on her butt. Before, she could not do it because it was so inflamed. Her mom and dad came up and they saw her moving her leg in ways that she hasn't been able to because she's been in so much discomfort. And she tried everything. And she cannot believe that this patch is helping her so much with that. And she, too, you know, she can attest that her inflammation that she had just throughout her whole entire body, again, is, you know, it's not there. Do you want to share some testimonies?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll mention the inflammation, and that's just so huge for so many people. And, you know, I think it's important to just emphasize the timeline. I mean, we know certain things happen the first day, certain things happen after 6 weeks, certain things happen after 6 months. But what I'm seeing, most of, quote unquote, the wow stories that I see are people that have been on the patch for 10 months, 12 months, and longer. I mean, I have a friend that she's approaching her 2-year mark. You know, maybe she's around 20 months. And if we compare to her before pictures, you know, a year and a half ago to now, it's completely different. Her face is so much thinner that you can just see the inflammation gone from her body. People just start to look younger. David refers to it quite often as age reversal. I mean, he's talking about turning off bad genes, turning on the good ones. When stem cell makes a new cell, it's making a brand new cell. So the clinical studies have proven that after 6 months of wearing the patch, the heart is 8 years younger, the heart. So it is literally doing that to every organ in your body. But when you start to see it in people's faces, their eyes are glowing, their hair is different, you know, they have less gray hair, they're getting more of their natural color back. Those are the kind of things we're seeing on a regular basis. And it's just pretty exciting. People are feeling better. They're getting a better quality of life from this. And again, you know, whether, I always say, you know, all ages, you know, get benefit from the patches.
So it's for everybody.
It's for everybody. I mean, again, I think people automatically exclude kids from this as a potential because if you're specifically just talking about the level of stem cells in your body, but a lot of kids these days have just things out of balance, and this helps bring balance back to the body. It helps heal the brain. It helps heal the gut. So, you know, if kids are on the spectrum, we've had families with kids that were nonverbal and they start speaking after being on the patch a couple of months. We had a young boy who was severely cross-eyed at age 11, and his parents had been doing every therapy under the sun since he was 2 years old, and nothing was helping him. After 4 months of utilizing this patch, the eyes corrected themselves. So there's so many things that happen, and it doesn't matter what the age is. We were just watching a video testimony of a lady sharing about her 92-year-old father.
He's 96.
96?
Yeah,
oh my
96.
gosh. So wow. He's sharing his own testimony and speaking. And again, you just get to hear his heart. I tell people, get your tissues ready when you hear these stories. But he was on oxygen. He was in hospice care. And 6 months later, he's off all his oxygen. He's awesome. Out of hospice. Awesome. The daughter was like, they kicked him out. He's doing so well. He used to only be able to get around with a walker or a cane. He is walking without his cane. And the last video she posted, he was out on the lawnmower, like cleaning up the yard and picking up sticks. And
doing his own laundry, doing his own dishes.
He does his push-ups when he's at the kitchen counter. And he was sharing that, like what his goal is, you know, in the next 6 months of how many push-ups he's going to be able to do. But 6 months ago, he was not able to do any of that. So again, you know, from a 6-year-old to a 96-year-old, it can greatly improve their quality of life.
Well, and Kevin, too, I want to hit too. So, you know, my husband, he's wearing it, and he really, like, he's at the peak of his life right now. Like, he's doing amazing in his workouts. He's working, and he's being an amazing dad. And, you know, as far as we know, like God willing or God blessed, we have not know like he has no health issues. So some people are like, well, I don't have any health issues, so why should I wear the patch? Like, why do I need it? Not everyone cares if their stem cells are going dormant. He is wearing it, because he, like I said, he works out. And regardless if you work out or not, as you get older, just doing your day-to-day tasks gets more challenging. Him with his workout, he started wearing the patch, and he's seen an increase in like the amount he's able to lift. The endurance that he has, like he's never really been like a, runner or big cardio guy, but like his endurance is higher. And then too, I mean, he's working out at the end of his long day. He's getting, whatever sleep he can get, but that is going to take away from his recovery, So with this patch, his recovery is so much better too. And, we were talking about like, oh, you have a story. And I'm like, well, you have a story too. Yours is different. There are people out there that are still very active. I mean, there's, the 30 to 40-year-olds that are even like, they're nearing the end of their career with sports or something, or they're still playing sports or doing tennis, like my uncle. And, even just walking, like that is helping me so much too. Todd, he is our friend. His father had a heart attack, right? So he is wearing it just simply to be proactive because he doesn't want to have, that happen to him as well. So even just a proactive aspect, like you might not have certain issues right now, but you don't know what wearing the patch can prevent you from having in the future.
So when do you put it on? Do you put it on twice a day? Is it one patch? Is it something every day a week?
Yeah, so it's once a day. For 12 hours. 12 hours, is like your sweet spot, and you don't wear it for 24 because your body's going to get used to that phototherapy, and you don't want it to just get used to it. So it's 12 hours on, 12 hours off. When you get a sleeve, it has 30 patches in it for a whole month. So as soon as you're done with the patch, you throw it away. You don't rewear it. And you wear it every day. And the only thing you got to worry about is making sure you drink enough water, which water is important with or without wearing the patch. And then just making sure your electrolytes are up throughout the day.
Exactly.
Okay. Where is the founder from? Is this based out of Ohio?
Well, there's actually Lifewave, like, corporate headquarters all over the world now. I mean, it's in over 80 different countries. Okay. So it is a global company, but they just opened a new welcome center in Utah. The product currently is getting manufactured in San Diego, and that's where if you're in the United States, that's where your product is going to get shipped from. Okay. But they have a big research facility in Ireland as well. So yeah, I mean, this is touching people's lives all across the globe.
Okay. A question: what exactly is stem cells for people that don't know what is stem cells? What are you talking about? Period. What does stem cells actually? How do they what is it? Some people don't even know anything about stem cells.
Exactly. Okay. So I usually try to explain it as, the stem cell is like the master cell. When you think back in utero, when, your little human body was developing, a stem cell has the ability to become any cell in the body. Okay. Meaning it can differentiate. It can become a heart cell. It can become a liver cell. It can become a muscle cell, bone. So, all the different individual components. Now, once an organ is formed, when those cells duplicate, they can only duplicate and become what they are. So a liver cell can only duplicate and make a new liver cell. So your body was formed from stem cells. It's the master cell. And after you're born, you have so many stem cells in your body, and they are the sole source of regenerative healing in your body. So, when a little kid is running and they fall and they get hurt, they injure themselves, they strain a muscle. I mean, they pretty much bounce right back up and get running, but their body heals and recovers very quickly because because they have an abundance of stem cells in their body. And as we age, those stem cells, just their activity is lowered. They become dormant. So when you get in your 30s, you start to feel the aging process. The aches and pains start to creep in. The recovery from your workout takes a little bit longer than they did in your 20s. And that's because of the absence of those stem cells. So when we can reactivate and increase the stem cell activity in the body, all of a sudden you have the ability to make brand new liver cells. When as opposed to a liver cell that just duplicates itself. You have an aged liver cell making a new aged liver cell, and that's the aging process. It just we just start to, little by little, it's more degenerative than regenerative. And this having an abundance of stem cells in your body allows the body to be regenerative. And David Schmidt's personal mission is to unlock the codes for, age reversal and longevity. And it's not like trying to make everybody live longer. It's just trying to improve the quality of your life while you're here. And, Hope mentioned it earlier about, people that don't necessarily have health issues or things that they're trying to overcome, and how does the patch help them? I tell people all the time, I'm not trying to currently fix anything right now. I am wearing the patch for the 70-year-old version of myself, because I want an active, healthy life when I get to that age and beyond.
Okay.
So,
how do we contact? I mean, I'm listening to this great information. I'm sitting here, I'm riding around in my car. I'm at home, I'm with some friends. And how do I contact you to get more information or to learn more about Lifewave?
So you can text PATCH, PATCH, to 330-931-5496, and that's my work number. This is Hope. So if you text that number, we can send you some links for you guys to listen to, and get more information on everything that you hear today.
Okay. How is this is it expensive to do this, to join the program? Do you have to take the patch, or can you be a part of the Lifewave family of a brand? Are you brand partners of Lifewave or something?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I love that you're asking that, because that was the first thing that I saw just as an opportunity when I knew that I was going to be sharing these patches with the people that I cared about. My one girlfriend just calls it the love patch, because you're going to automatically share this with the people you love. But because David Schmidt chose the direct sales model, because he knew his product would move into the marketplace by word of mouth, better than sitting on a shelf inside the four walls of a retail establishment. So yes, you said brand partners. So when you buy a startup bundle with the company, you can become a brand partner so that you have the ability to share as well. And in addition to just helping people improve their health and their quality of life, this opportunity allows people to add finances to their household. And for a lot of people, just having an extra couple $100 or $1,000 helps kind of take the pressure. So sometimes I'll just refer to these as thank you checks from the company. When you share with other people, you automatically get a thank you check.
Awesome.
So you asked about the price. So I mean, again, we can break things down. You can buy in bulk and get a better deal. But just flat out, if you just wanted to buy one sleeve of patches at a time, we call that, just putting it on the subscription. The company is going to send you a 30-day supply every month, and it comes out to a little over $3 a day.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's very affordable. When it comes to the amount of things that this can cover and assist and help, and then another question people ask a lot is, well, how long do I need to wear it? I'm a lifer based on what I know about this technology and what it's doing for my body. And but if someone's just looking to get out of the distress mode, but Hope already mentioned that doctors recommend a minimum of 1 month for every decade you've been on the planet. But from my perspective, that's the minimum startup time. So if someone's in their 60s, it's a 6-month window to just reestablish the abundance of stem cells in the body. And then you have to go beyond that to let the healing happen. I know when I sought out some help with an issue in my sciatica years and years ago. I was pregnant with my son, who's now 28 years old. So it was an issue that, it would flare up. And there was times when I couldn't figure out how to get out of bed. If I did manage that, I didn't know how I was going to get down the steps. Sometimes I had to get down and scoot down. And I started seeing chiropractic helped me short term, but it would always flare back up and then I'd have to go back. And I was like, how can I correct? How can I help my body heal? And I found a practitioner that practiced craniosacral, and she was able to guide me through that. But her request was that she was given 1 month for every year that problem has existed in your life. So I like to kind of carry that into this to allow full healing in the body. So if you've been struggling with something for 10 years, it's going to be a 10-month healing process for your body. If you've had asthma or allergies since you were 10 years old and you're 50, we're talking about a little bit more time to get to the core issue and to help correct that. So yeah, as far as price goes, it's very affordable.
Okay.
And then the timeline will vary from individual to individual, but I think for most people, this becomes a life product. With that being said, for me personally, and I've seen this time and time again with so many people, is that if you're using, a lot of people that are on a health journey, they're already utilizing a lot of nutritional supplements, and nutrition is a key component to helping the body function optimally. But a lot of times, for a lot of people in this situation, once they get on this patch and for an extended period of time, their dependency on nutritional supplementation is greatly reduced. I mean, for example, a lot of people take a good quality collagen. This stem cell patch will help your body increase the collagen production. I would much rather have my own collagen being made by my body rather than supplementing from another source, another animal, and a lot of times our supplements are coming from things that are not made from our body, right? Or you're supplementing from another animal or something else. But so that's just an example, because there's multiple things that increases. I mean, I just had one of our practitioners share with me that one of her clients who's been battling osteoporosis for all these later years of her life, and they've been treating her and then monitoring her, and I don't know if she got checked every 6 months or a year, but her numbers were always getting worse. And this last checkup, the doctors actually told her she no longer had osteoporosis, that her numbers had improved so much, and the only thing that she had changed in that 6 months was utilizing the patch.
Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, we help people. If I always tell people, once you say yes to this, I've got 2 jobs. My first job is to help you save money. So we're going to look at the startup bundles, and it's kind of like shopping at Costco. When you buy the bigger bundle, you get more products. You're going to pay a lower price point per item. So we can bring this down as low as $82 or $84 a sleeve of patches by buying a bundle. So my first job is to help you save money, and then I could also help you make money if you choose that path.
That's
and
awesome.
It's the most comprehensive or most lucrative compensation plan I've ever seen in my 30 years in this industry. So
you're saying
we have fun helping people do that.
So you can improve your health and make money, is what you're saying with this?
You can improve your health and your wealth.
And there's nothing like this out there, and he has it patented until 2040. So we have no competition.
It's a one-of-a-kind product. Yeah. I mean, these are all things that I loved when I looked at the business side of it. It was a simple, easy thing to do. It's a single product. It's, again, the simplest thing we've ever had. It's easy for people to do it, and there's no competition in the marketplace. Nobody else has this.
What's that phone number again?
330-931-5496.
Text patch.
Yep.
All right, that sounds.
Yeah, and when you do that, we'll send you a website that will have some short videos just to explain. It's like a 2-minute video that explains phototherapy. There's another one from the inventor that he explains how the patch itself, how it works. So a lot of people, again, these are 2 new concepts for people under how can it work if it's not putting anything into the body. So he explains that in a very, very short video, and we'll be able to send that back to you when you text the word patch to this phone number.
That is awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to get out there to the people listening to this audio or watching this video?
I think the only thing too, some of the comebacks we have is, oh, I don't need it right now, or I don't have time. that is why we're trying to make things, there's always a way for you to find time to either listen or watch or find out about this. So, just taking the time to listen, because it's more important than we realize. And it's more amazing than we can even understand and comprehend. So just taking the time to listen and ask questions so you're not missing out on it.
And you said this is Lifewave, Life, Wave, Wave, Lifewave. Okay. And what's the patch again? Can you mention that patch one more time?
The patch itself, this specific patch that we've been talking about, is called X39.
X39. Okay, the X39 patch for stem cell. Okay, this sounds awesome. We just gave you all a lot of great information. We hope y'all took some notes like you should do. That's what smart people do. If not, if you're driving, make sure you just go ahead, save this video from when you're sitting down and you're in a safe space. Take notes, take down that phone number. You go ahead and text patch to 330-931-5496. That is Hope's number. Can you mention who you are one more time? Can you please mention who you both are one more time for the people listening?
Yeah, I'm Hope.
And I'm Lisa.
There it is, y'all. Y'all just got some great information. I am so grateful for this conversation that we had today, women. This is beautiful. You're great information that I can give to people. I would do my job to go and share it because I think people need to know more about it, especially how I travel around and I meet a lot of people. So I hope this can reach the right person. We don't have to reach everyone. This might not be for everyone. But if you are interested, would love to hear more information. Can you please give that number one more time?
Yep, 330-931-5496 and text the word patch.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have an amazing day.
Kev.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.